Welcome to the Wellness Witches Whimsy Podcast, your go-to sanctuary where magic meets mindfulness and holistic health gets real.
Join us, your hosts, Shade and Vanessa, as we dive deep into the realms of real life, trauma healing, whole foods, and the profound connection between mind, body, and soul.
Hello.
So we are coming to you in my yurt. So this week kind of got away from us a little bit. We didn't have time to record at our office, but we figured what better way to do our podcast than in my beautiful yurt. So we do meditation ceremonies in here, breathwork ceremonies in here, inner child work in here. There is so many healing components to this beautiful yurt. We have like an old school. I desperately want to show you guys what it looks like. I feel like that's...
Yeah. Oh, mine as well. Okay.
Yeah. So we have our whole little circle going. We have our ceremonial cacao. You probably can't see into the rest of the space, but you kind of get the gist of it. So we have all of our beautiful crystals. We have Palo Santo burning. We have some lavender healing incense, backflow incense that are going right now. Oh, look, that was like so perfect. Yeah. And we have like this beautiful wood stove that has been burning all day. It's like, oh, what temperature is it outside?
Oh, it's cold outside.
It's cold outside. Let's see. It's 10 degrees outside, and the real feel is -10. So welcome to Wisconsin. So we're gonna do our little session here. We are super thankful for all of you guys. We'll start there because everyone was like, oh my gosh, you didn't do a podcast episode. And we heard from a couple of our fans that they were really sad that we didn't bring one out this week. But we are just super thankful that people are listening and excited to listen to us. And I think that today's episode is going to be pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I do too. It's so comfy in here. And just, I feel like I could sleep here all the time. Really. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Just hang out all the time. Yeah.
Adam and I have slept here a couple times.
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah. So we have 10 acres of property. So I live in... Should we say that on the podcast? Yeah, we can say that. I live in Necedah. I was like, should we say? Some of our podcasters don't talk about where they're from.
Well, but I listen to a lot of people in California and they do the same thing. Yeah, it's like you don't want to give too many details of like, I go around to the corner to get coffee here every day.
Yeah, for sure. But saying Necedah, it's a really wide area. I won't give away too many details, but we have 10 acres of land right now. Our family bought this house 11 years ago-ish. 10 years ago. So we've been living in here for about 10 to 11 years. When we first came into the house, it was supposed to be our house that we lived in for forever. That's what we were thinking. My significant other is an Army veteran, and he traveled over the entire world. Like, he went everywhere, did all of the things, and all he wanted to do was come back home to Necedah, Wisconsin. Like, that was his dream. Bless his little soul. Yeah. And I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, where we moved a bazillion times, and I didn't have a single school that I stayed at for more than a couple of years. So it's a huge difference, but now we are moving and we're super excited about that, and we're trying to head over closer to our space, to like where my community is, hopefully for a better everything. So that's what we're doing. But for now, this beautiful yurt is sitting on the back of 10 acres of land. We are surrounded by trees. We got to walk up to the moon, got to see the stars, got to experience the snow crunching beneath our feet. We got to experience vast coldness.
Yes.
On our faces. But like, we talked the whole time, had a great time getting back here, and like now we're super cozy. The first thing that we did was took off our jackets.
Yeah.
We took off everything.
Mm-hmm. Super cozy. I don't really need my hat. It's more just to cover up my hair that it's flat.
The frizziness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the flatness. Well,
but it feels so good. Yeah, I got my hair cut. It feels so nice. Mm-hmm. Like, that's like one of those things you're like, oh, just feels so light and refreshing.
Yeah. It's a good thing to do for like the new season and time we're in.
Oh yeah. Today was like didn't have stuff really planned day, and then I was thinking on my drive here how we're just everybody's so busy right now.
Yeah.
It's just the holidays are fizzling down, but it's still like trying to get into that routine, and just the day is so jam-packed.
Yeah. I feel like after the holidays, everybody like goes back into like the insanity of, oh my gosh, I missed XYZ amount of
Yes.
work, and oh, we got to do this, we got to do that. And like we kind of fell into the same trap. Like we like jam-packed our week with so many different things. And it was like chaotic because it was like so many different things. And then Shade and I think we talked about it before, but we're like anti-New Year's people. So like we were just kind of go with the flow with that, but yeah, I just think that the holidays it makes everybody so much more busier for the after.
Yeah, I heard I've asked a few people and they're still like having family Christmases.
Yeah.
And like when I ask them, it's like, it's not like, oh, I'm really excited that I'm having another Christmas. It's like, oh, well, you would think that's what it would be. And this year too, like everybody, like, what are you doing for New Year's? Not that I was expecting people to be like, we're all going out. That's kind of, which I'm glad to hear is not really the in thing.
Right, not
But
anymore.
the going out like can look different.
Yeah,
that's what I would like to envision of it looking different.
Like catering more to like what your
something
body
like
needs.
this, even, know? Yeah, we're just like out in nature. It's cozy, peaceful, drinking, like the cacao, and it's it feels good and it fuels the soul and it's fulfilling.
Yeah, for sure. And like I don't know, New Year's is so hard because right, like time isn't real. Like we can all like together say like for sure time's not real. Time is just a human construct. We made it to like exist in this weird reality that we as humans created, and it's just a way to like mark like the passage of human life and like to mark the passage of all of the intense things that we're doing and the work and all of that. So like people get like super like anxious about New Year's, like New Year has to be like new year, new me. And it doesn't have to be like that. And a lot of times what people find is when they start like connecting with their intuition, when they start connecting with their body, they don't feel that same intensity of new year, new me. They feel like it doesn't feel like the right time. Like right now feels like rest, recharge, slow down, like so peculiar, right? And it's because our calendar, and I don't know if it's like this all over the world. I didn't research this. I don't know. Do you know? Like, is our North American calendar the same?
Oh, well, we need to look into this.
Yeah, I do, because in America, like we say that it's the new year and we have like, okay, now it's the new year. But when we talk about reconnecting with nature, when we talk about the way that the cycles are, this isn't a new year. This isn't supposed to be newness.
No, this is the huddle down, hunker down.
Right. Absolutely. So there's like, if your body feels that way, it's because it's not meant to be yet.
Yeah, like today, my day was, I had one thing planned. I had a haircut at 11. Like, that's what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of felt like fast, like I needed to get all these things done before I went. But I did have a slow morning, just like meditated, quiet by myself in the morning before everybody got up. And then got to do some yoga at our office. And we did it in the sauna room. And it was pretty much hot yoga, I would say. By the end, I was like, whoa. And it was for an hour. And it was so good and peaceful and relaxing and exactly what I needed. But it wasn't like a super planned thing. And then talk to you and we're like, oh, let's do the pod today. Like we can get it done. I'll drive here. That's an hour drive, not that big of a deal. But I'm like, it's not that late. It's 6.
Right.
at night, and I feel like my day could still continue its relax because these like restorative things happened through the day.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
But Friday, like, not that Friday was a bad day, but it was just like we had, by the time we leave the gym and we get to the office, and it's just like trying to even like set up our computers and like turn on all the lights and like get everything like ready. And then you have people coming in, and it was just like I- we accomplished stuff, but
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like it. It wasn't anything, and I think we didn't do anything restorative. Like, we went to the gym, which I think was the one thing that we like really needed.
Yeah.
So yeah, like tuning in and listening to like what our bodies like really need.
Yeah. And Friday was chaotic because we were pulled in so many different directions.
Yeah.
I mean, every single time we turned around, either Shade was getting pulled somewhere else or I was getting pulled somewhere else. It was really
Yeah.
a really insane kind of day. And we started the day saying we were gonna go to the gym. Shade and I are doing our seasonal detox, and we were like, we're gonna take it easy, we're gonna go slow. Like, it's just gonna be a chill day. I had a couple of client appointments. Like, we had a couple things that we were gonna do in the office because we're welcoming in a new addition to the Blue Heron Collective and Healing Center, which we're freaking stoked about. Shout out to Megan, who is one of our fans on the podcast. She's coming into our space. I wish I could remember what her business is called. Actually, I don't want to say it because I don't know that she's announced it to the world yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
good that I don't quite remember it totally. But she has crystals
Our stuff is
and
so
rocks.
amazing.
She gets things from all
All
over.
over. She goes to like will go searching herself too.
Yeah.
Like, go to the beach and walk around and then tumbles rocks. And
Yeah.
that's what I love, is like going out and seeking these pieces too.
And they like find her.
They find her. And then she has a lot that she'll make into jewelry, and she's very knowledgeable with the stones.
And like what the purposes of them
Yeah.
are.
And very reasonable with her pieces.
Yeah,
You know,
for
she
sure.
wants people to enjoy them.
Mhm.
And one thing I just love about when I think it's just another generational thing, you know, you take your kids out and they're like, don't touch the things here. Like, she's like, no, I want your child to touch, or adults, even
Yeah.
whoever, to touch this piece and enjoy it. And like, is it calling for you? Do you want it? Like,
Right.
feel it in your hands.
Yeah.
And that just warms my heart so much. Like, it's such a simple thing like that.
Yeah, because
Like,
we didn't get that when
No.
we were children.
And like my mom, she's a perfect example. And like, she's started to realize this too. Yeah, it's like her generational trauma of, she was not allowed to, she wasn't, you were seen, but you weren't heard.
Yeah.
That plain, simple line. And that would be something like, if Edric grabbed for it, she'd be like, don't touch that.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah. and then you wanted to say, yeah, but why?
But why? Why can't
Because
he
I
touch
said
it?
so. And that's all we heard. I think our
Oh,
generation
gosh.
was, because I said so.
Everything was because I said so.
So I don't think any of us say that to our kids.
Oh gosh, heck no. No, I give them reasons
Yeah.
for literally everything. And I don't care. So like I don't care if I tell them, okay, here's a really good one. This is one of my favorite things that I have done with my kids. And I do this with my bonus kids, and I do this with my biological kids. And so I make rules in the house, right? Like, we all have to have rules in place to help the children grow, to help the children be safe,
Yes.
to help the children recognize that there will be boundaries in the real world and how to navigate those boundaries. So one of my big things is, I don't want my children to ever feel as though what I say is absolute. Question me.
Yeah.
Make sure that I'm right. I don't know everything.
Same.
I'm not right about everything. So for my rules, I have the same philosophy. So in my house, if I have a rule and you don't understand the rule, or you don't like it, or you don't feel like it serves a purpose for you anymore, we have a conversation. If you can tell me why that rule should no longer serves a purpose, if you can tell me a good reason for us to change the rule, expand on the rule, or let it go, we'll have that conversation. So my boys, I have two 15-year-olds.
Oh, so I'm sure they question that a lot.
All the time. Yeah. So one of the things that they did was, they did not like my bedtime. So I am a super advocate for adolescents getting the appropriate
Yes.
amount of sleep. It is vital. I also feel like our parents didn't instill the same respect for sleep, right?
Oh, right.
Like
It
we
was
went to
just
bed
like,
because
go
we
to
were,
bed because I said so.
yep, or go to
That's-
bed because you were punished.
Oh, yeah. Go
You
to
had-
your, yeah. Go to your
yeah.
room, go to, yeah.
Yeah, and like they didn't tell us like why. They didn't tell us about the importance of sleep, what it does to our bodies, why we need appropriate sleep. None of that. Mostly though, it was because our parents didn't know either. Right?
Right, yeah.
They just they
Yes.
can't teach what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So in my house, my 15-year-olds, the expectation was for them to go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. To me, that's very reasonable. My children wake up at 5:30 in the morning to get to school.
Yeah.
Because I drive them 30 minutes one way to go to school. So the boys came up with a plan and they said, we don't like that we have to go to bed at 9 o'clock. Like, we're missing out. Our friends stay up later than that. We want to be able to go to bed later. And then there was electronic expectations, and I took electronics away earlier because they were going to bed earlier. So my rule of thumb is to not be on devices 2 hours before you go to bed. So then they wanted to talk about that.
Yes.
And then I can't remember what the other thing was, but I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I want you guys to go to your room, discuss the points as to why and how the rules should be changed. And here are my concerns. And one of my concerns were they do not get up easy in the morning.
Oh,
They
yeah.
suck at getting up. We literally have to ask them 5, 6, 7, 8 times to get up. And so that was one of my biggest concerns was how are we going to remedy our situation in the morning, which I don't like starting the day off bad.
No.
I don't want to have
No.
to yell. I don't want to
Same.
have to like get on their case. I don't want to be stressed. I don't want them to be stressed. So I said, how are we going to remedy all of these? My boys spent 45 minutes coming up with a plan.
Oh my gosh. Then you had to.
Right. So then they came into
Yeah.
the living room. They addressed all of their concerns. They figured out remedies to the situation. So now the boys get to go to bed at 10, sometimes 10:30, depending on what they're doing. Because, you know, they're in high school. So sometimes they still have homework. If they do have homework and they do the homework right away, then I do give them more time to decompress. Because, of course, that's important too. But like that is probably one of my favorite moments as a
Yes.
parent because they did such a great job. And I literally I mean, I don't have to worry about those boys ever. They're going to go out into the real world and they're never going to just say, I did this because my boss told me so.
Right.
Or I did this because somebody else said that I was supposed to do it. My boys watched us navigate COVID vastly different. My kids watched us navigate through the scariness of it, the chaos of it. My kids did not feel the insanity that the world felt during COVID because we didn't make it crazy. And they'll remember that. Like some of their friends like remember never leaving the house.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And I'm sure you guys were outside so much.
We were. I mean,
Yeah.
we're outside so much as it is. So like
Yeah.
our lives didn't change as drastically as some people's lives did because we go outside, we explore,
Yeah.
we camp. We don't camp at campgrounds. We camp in the national forest because here in the United States, you can camp anywhere in the national forest for free. And the only rule is you can't be there for more than 15 days, I believe. Some places you can stay there for like 30 days and then you just leave it as you found it. So like if you go to the national forest and you set up your fire pit, well, you need to bury the fire pit. You need to put the earth back where it was. You keep the trash out. You do all of those things. And so we have gone camping where we haven't seen a single soul for like 2 weeks.
That's
my favorite ever. I love it when we do that. And we have found the most gorgeous places. So my kids didn't feel that. And for us, like we got to homeschool and that was like a huge blessing because then we figured out what they were lacking from public school. And then when my kiddos decided to go back to public school, they had the tools to navigate that.
It was nice that it made, we were forced to be hunkered down,
Yeah.
slow down, and that part was nice.
It was. And I do feel bad because like people in the cities, people in high populated areas.
You don't have a yard.
Yeah.
You couldn't expect people to be outside.
Or like the fear was so real and so tremendous. And again, in the larger cities, they did experience high levels of devastation. The emergency rooms truly were run over. The doctors were run ragged. The nurses were run ragged. Those fears, all of those things, that was their reality. So I do feel bad for and there have been long-term consequences because of something like that. And I'm so sad about that. And I just hope that, like collectively we can learn from all of the experiences that we had. I mean, even the United States government, like what a wake-up call it was to so many people that our government doesn't have all of the answers, that we shouldn't just take what these powerful people say as face value without pushing back.
I tell my son, like, don't believe, YouTube is like a great example of they see a video and see something and I'm like, can't believe what you see on TV. And I tell him, me too, like, I don't know everything.
Right.
And more of like, figure out your situation. And I'm always about the right place and the right time for things.
For everything. Yeah. Well, and that's good because when he grows up, those are the things that he's going to be thinking about. And like, that's what we need. Like our next generation of people, I hope that they break everything down. Like, I hope our kids will break all of these like societal expectations and the rigidity of like what we're experiencing. And I hope they don't have to work 40 hours a week or more to just survive. Like, I hope that because our generation is the generation of let's get back to basics. Let's we're all homesteading, we're all making our own breads, we're all doing all of these things that like this big wave has come through. I hope that we do a good enough job to instill that in our kids. I hope that we're doing it. I hope our kids genuinely will be like catapulted into like the next way of life. Like I hope that we get to be alive to see that.
That's so beautiful.
I know. I have like massive hopes and dreams for when I'm 80, 90, 100 years old.
We're gonna be the centennials.
Yeah, because
my mom is. I keep telling her, I'm like, you're gonna be a centennial.
Yeah,
living with our kids.
Yeah,
they're not going anywhere.
Yeah. And what's funny is that I actually used to say that I didn't want to live past 70. I put that out there to the universe so many times because I didn't like my life. I didn't like my body. I didn't like where my health was. I didn't like anything. I mean, up until like a couple of years ago, even like 3 years ago, I've been on my healing journey for 6 years. And 3 years ago, I was still saying, no, like I hope that by 70 I'm out. And and now I'm like,
it's so wild.
It's a weird thing for me to have said because I was just in my 30s, like just started.
Yeah.
And like now I can't even imagine. I feel like I could live for like
got so much to do.
Yeah.
So much to see, so much to do.
Yeah. And just because you're older in age doesn't mean that you can't experience the world still.
No, that's like my mom. Like she's a great example of being almost 70.
Yeah.
And like you can still change things.
Right. And she's going to the gym and moving her body all the time and constantly.
She did yoga with us today for an hour.
And when I see, so like,
I was like, what? I laid on the mat at one point. I'm like, it's hot. Like it was warm, like, and she had to modify, but that's the thing. Like once you can like check yourself,
check your ego out the door.
Ego. Like I just learned to check my ego. I've been doing CrossFit for 4 years. And now it's like, I love the community. It makes me feel good, but I'm not worried about being the best.
Yeah.
Like we you can't all the time. Like, you be your best what you can that day, but I'm not gonna hurt myself anymore.
Right, which is like
Or
a huge thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there are people in the CrossFit world who don't know that yet
Yeah.
and who have been in that
And there
world
are some people that can work out every day.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's really just being in connection with your body.
Yes.
Yeah. And because I always tell people this too, like, it's nothing is ever a one size fits all for anything. So, like, when I talk to my clients, I would never tell my clients to work out 6 days a week. But there are people who work out 6 days a week who are thriving, who are genuinely healthy, who can do a 6 day a week workout. And that's what their body needs. It's just, it might not be what your body needs. It might be something different, but we also have to like take into effect that if we have been working out for 6 days a week, is our body needing that rest and that recharge? Okay. 1 day a week of a rest day is
not
much. Not a lot in the grand, but like, let's talk about way back in the day.
Well,
we were working out every single day. Right? Because we weren't meant for sedentary lifestyles. Oh gosh, we were not meant to just sit at a computer desk.
That's something like I went with Vanessa. We went and watched her son for wrestling.
Yeah.
And it was a weekend, and I'm like, as you can tell, probably from watching this, like, I'm very fidgety, like, I'm like, okay, my hips uneasy. I just am moving constantly. And I'm like, and I see other people and I'm always questioning it. Like, everybody's different, but I'm like, wow, is it really me? And you were like, well, a lot of people are sitting more and just used to not moving their body.
And it's uncomfortable with someone like you or someone like me who we're constantly on the move and constantly doing something, to sit for long periods of time, because that doesn't serve our bodies anymore. And then there are other people who need to sit because their bodies are in the position to be as active all of the time. But humans in general are meant to move. It's in the sedentary lifestyle where everything breaks down. Our bodies show us that time and time again. Elderly people who have difficulties moving, it's because they stopped moving.
Yes.
And like the doctors, even Western medicine, will say, like, you just have to move your body.
You don't use it.
Yeah.
You lose it.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, we don't realize like the reality of that until it's too late. So like, getting out there and like telling people, move your body, do what you need to do. It's so important. Like, that's what we need to be doing.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like we've kind of gone full circle. And I know that last time we did our podcast, we were supposed to talk about ways to navigate through trauma on a daily. And we started talking about some of that. But I think we're gonna have to like re-listen to like what our podcast was, so that we can go back to that.
It's okay. I like you. I'm so like, it just works better sometimes not being so organized.
Yeah, and just kind of talking about whatever needs to be talked about. Well, I think that's when the most authentic conversations come out. That's for sure.
Like, well, when you're saying to do, like, I have my mantras in the shower, my lamination, and that's my daily, say my cleansing mantras. That's how I deal with my daily traumas.
Right. You like ground yourself.
Ground myself.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I think what a lot of people don't realize is that when you wake up in the morning and there's no focus to your morning. When you're just waking up and you're rushing and you're just trying to get ready and getting out the door and not taking a moment to take care of yourself, you're so disconnected from your body that when something happens and a trigger does come up, you don't even know how to fix it or address it or recognize it or understand it, because you woke up in the morning and you already disconnected from yourself and you just kept going and you ignored every single thing that your body needed right away. So like, when you wake up in the morning with intentionality, like, you genuinely set the tone for your day. And like fun little tips that I tell people is when you wake up in the morning, one of the very first things that is recommended, which is really good for your body, is to drink room temperature water. And have a little bit of Celtic salt and lemon in your water and drink that right away. And then in the first 20 minutes of the day, if you can sweat or actively move your body, it sets the tone for your metabolism. It sets the tone for your energy being able to be increased, and then go about whatever your routine looks like. So, like, again, if you aren't going to bed on time, then it's harder to wake up in the morning and then you're feeling rushed. I do not like feeling rushed in the morning. Oh my gosh,
it's the worst.
Because then your whole day feels rushed or feels like something is off.
And but like you're saying too, and then the time's not relative, so like that in the back of your mind. And
and your body doesn't recognize time.
No. And
your body just recognizes, hey, we need something. We're not getting that. We must be in survival mode.
Yes.
What's happening that we're needing to survive? And our body just thinks,
like,
the lion is chasing us.
And we're like, no, the daily grind.
Yeah. Or like if you don't eat breakfast, then it's like, oh, we must not be in a place where there is an abundance of food. We need to store all of the fat so that we can be in survival mode. And then we wonder why we can't lose the weight that we're trying to lose and why our bellies look the way that they do. And, it's literally that full circle. Like it all begins with like reconnecting with your body and honoring your body and honoring yourself and really making sure that you're setting the tone for the day. Because I feel like when I have an amazing morning, my typical triggers that would put me in a space where I would need to take more precautionary measures doesn't happen that way. Like I feel like when somebody, does something or when a situation is really rough, I can just really take a step back and be like, okay.
Yes.
I feel that this is not aligning with what I need right now, but I can navigate this without feeling chaotic or without feeling hurt or without feeling unsafe. But when I have mornings that are chaotic, I feel like every little thing can trigger me.
Yeah, definitely. Huge difference of like, that's how I feel today. Very like nothing chill and can.
Nothing can bother.
But I think Thursday. Yeah. I don't set an alarm. And I love like my internal clock of my body waking up. But sometimes that's not early enough for me to get the things I need to do in the morning.
Right. Well,
maybe if I had things a little more prepared at night.
Mm-hmm.
That could maybe help, but it feels really good. I don't like my phone in the room, so I leave it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I could go back to the old school alarm clock, but I think that just I don't know, it's annoying.
I
find it annoying, and I feel totally different. And I don't know if I think it's something just the knowing, like, that you have responsibilities. Because I just noticed on the weekend, I'll wake up probably like sometimes a little earlier, and I just feel like I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's maybe 6:30 in the morning. But during the weekday, I'll wake up just naturally 6:30, but feel sometimes still good, but just this little hint of like, well, I just want to lay here a little, just that thought of I want to lay here a little longer, but I don't let myself do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be like, just get up. But on the weekends, I'll wake up naturally and be like, oh, let's just get up and walk out to the living room is then my first thing I do, and like open the curtains and just like have it peacefully.
Yeah. But that's because you know that you have the responsibility. You're not getting as much restful sleep. You already have preconceived notions as what is going to be expected and happen to you during the week. And also you just had a huge shift with Edric going back to public school because he was being homeschooled. So now you have the responsibility of making sure that you get him to the place that he has to go.
Yes. And he's like me too, morning. Like I'll wake him up 7, he's good. Like he'll wake up like usually 6:30 to 7. And I'm just like blessed we're so close to school because
Yeah.
I don't even because I went the whole concept of like I don't want to be yelling at my kid in the morning at all.
Yeah, because it really does set the tone
Because
for
I
the
can
whole
be
day.
nice and calm for a very long time. Then when that countdown hits and I'm like, like you feel the responsibility. I have to get you to school.
Yeah, you
Like
can't
this
be
is and you
late.
can't be late. And then
Yeah.
like I don't want to say those words even
Yeah,
out
because
loud. Then
that
he's
was us.
listening to me. Yeah, it was us.
Everything. I have hella time anxiety. I never want to be late. I freak out
Yeah.
about being late. And I feel like if I'm not early, then I'm already late. But that was because my entire life was you have to go, 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 go. We have to hurry up. We have to hurry up. We have to hurry up. And there was no like, we're gonna take our time. Everything
Yes.
was rushed all of the freaking time. So like now in my adulthood, I still put that on myself. So like, yeah, that really stinks. But I also feel like if you set an alarm for like a couple of weeks and your body resets her internal clock, then you could wake up on your own without that annoying alarm.
Yeah.
And it would be better. But like, I mean, it really does like go to show like you know your body well enough. So you know that this is like your response. You know why, because you said like, oh yeah, I know I'm going to be responsible, right? And then on the weekend, we get to like live in our own existence.
Yes. And I used to not be like that. I used to have insomnia and I would be up till 3 in the morning. But yeah, I wasn't in tune and my habits were different. My behaviors were different.
Yeah. And I mean,
started to enjoy my mornings more.
Yeah.
Waking up at 10:30, 11 is not a good way to start your day.
No, because then you've lost
so
hours and hours of your day. Oh my gosh.
My heart feels for all the people that work night shift.
Oh, I can't. Night shift is one of the worst shifts that you can work because it goes against every inkling that your body has. It totally screws up your circadian rhythm. Your hormones are so dysregulated. Everything about your body is destroyed when you work a night shift. Oh gosh. And don't get me started about like sleep deprivation and what it does to your brain. I mean, well, that could be like a whole episode is like what happens when you don't sleep appropriately, what happens when you don't get enough sleep, what happens when you shift your day, like going on to night shift. There's so many statistics, there's so many facts. Western medicine, holistic medicine, all across the board, they all agree how devastating it is to lose sleep. And yet here we are. And there are countries who have nap times in school and in workplaces.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh. Can you even imagine if like America was like, oh hey, collectively we're going to take our 15-minute nap or 20-minute nap, even those
that would
quick
be
sessions.
So perfect.
Seriously.
I got hooked on that for a while, the 20-minute nap. I'm like at first like, those are those things. That's why if you keep an open mind, forever. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, who takes 20-minute naps? Okay.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and I'm like, this works.
Yeah. Well, and there's like a reason behind it. So like you have different sleep cycles that you experience, and that 20-minute time frame, you're in a restful state, but you're not in a deep sleep state. But if you do anything over 45 minutes, then you're restarting that cycle, and that's why you get like dizziness and fogginess. Yeah.
And you just feel more tired.
Right. So you have to either you have to decide that before you get into the deep sleep cycle that you're going to wake up, or you complete the deep sleep cycle or your whole sleep cycle, which is about a 45-minute cycle. For some people, it could be 60 minutes. But if you don't complete the cycle, that's when things get messed up. So like anytime that I talk to my clients, I always say, set your alarm. Decide before you take a nap, am I going to take a 20-minute nap or am I going to take a 45-minute nap? Done. Other than that, you're going to wake up. We're not taking anything longer because it totally messes with your body too. So
I might take a nap tomorrow.
Oh gosh, it sounds
I've done it so long.
I know. Every time I try and take a nap, my kids don't let me. My kids are great, but like when I'm on the phone or when I want to take a nap,
Yeah.
they need me.
Yes.
It's like they know that I'm
Yes, they
checked
do.
out.
Yes.
It's awful. Ugh, I hate that.
This is so nice.
It was nice. I feel like we've been talking for a while. I think this is a good close.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna go do a breathwork session with Shade. So we're gonna see how that goes for her, and we're gonna eat some food. Probably get more wood in the wood stove because I'm kind of feeling like it's a little chillier in here. Do you feel like that?
It's dropped a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. I'm sure that the temperature outside has also dropped.
Yes.
Let's look. Am I wrong? I could be wrong. Well, now the real feels is -1. Wasn't it -10?
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, dang. Well, it's just, then we just need wood in the yurt. Okay. Well, you guys have an incredible day.
Yes.
We're so thankful for you. Remember to honor your body, honor yourself, put those boundaries in place. You are worthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
love you.
Thank you for holding space with us. This marks the end of another enchanting journey on the Wellness Witches Whimsy podcast. We hope today's episode has sprinkled a little magic on your day and empowered you with the insights to elevate your wellness journey, mind, body, and soul.
Remember, the path to well-being is both an ancient art and science, a blend of ancient wisdom and modern knowledge. So keep your wands ready and your potions brewing until we meet again. May your days be filled with health, happiness, and a touch of whimsy until our paths cross again in the realm of wellness and wonder.
Please note that the content provided in this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Always seek the advice of your physician with any changes you want to implement. The views expressed by the hosts and their guests are their own and should not be considered replacement medical advice.